So in today's webinar, we're going to spend about 45 minutes addressing 5 key learning objectives. We're going to do a Swisslog overview, why automate, how important that is, how the BoxPicker automated pharmacy storage and system can work with other technologies as well as your wholesaler, the key differences between Carousel's BoxPicker systems, and best practices for implementing automated dispensing systems, as well as what is the best system for you in your organization. So we've got several participants on the call today in a few large groups. So in order to keep things moving along smoothly, what we're going to ask, we're keeping everyone is actually in the mute, in the listen-only mode. So we'd ask that as questions come along, please feel free to use the chat section, and we will try to answer those questions for you in real time. Just a little bit about me before we get started. My name is Cindy Doig, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have an opportunity to speak to you today about a topic that I'm really passionate about. As you can see, I've been in hospital pharmacy over 30 years, and I've been actually with Swisslog for about 12 years right now. My role is to really work closely with our clients, both pre and post implementation. So on the pre side, I work closely with Young Shin Lee, who is actually on the line with us today as well, and she's the Solution Sales Director for all of Canada. And we work closely with you and your organization, assessing your current situation, what your vision is for the future, and not necessarily just in the next 6 months to a year, but we'll look and work with you what you're looking for in the next 6 years, for example. We try to help you understand what's going to be the automation that will best meet your needs. And then again, we work with our clients closely post-go live. So after we've implemented the systems, we go back and we do an assessment and an optimization to ensure that you're getting the full scope of what you anticipated from your automation. On the line with us today, we also have Amy Martini. She's our Solutions Marketing Manager, and she's going to launch a few polls today so that we can really understand who's on the line with us and keep it a little bit more interactive. The Swisslog Healthcare mission is really to help providers increase their efficiency and enhance the quality of care, so that you can deliver the best patient outcomes. We work with health systems that are forward-thinking and looking to make changes that are necessary to achieve the objectives that they have. Swisslog's focus really is in pharmacy. We focus on how we can improve actual pharmacy operations in order to improve efficiencies, reduce your inventory costs, increase patient safety. It's always something on the top of our mind. Our pharmacy automation is agnostic, so that's going to allow seamless integration with your existing technology. And we fully recognize the need for tomorrow and the future, and we're continuing to focus on the development of software, analytics, and cloud services. At Swisslog, our portfolio does focus on pharmacy. From analytics, we're allowing pharmacy to really improve their inventory control, their staffing assignments, by providing trending information that can be analyzed and viewed closely. Pharmacy information or inventory software is keeping your finger on the pulse. It's really allowing you to understand what's going on within your pharmacy, better managing products, expired products, being able to order more things that are in need or just in time. And of course, our automations, you can see we've got quite a portfolio of pharmacy automation.
Cindy, before you go forward, you've got a question.
Yes.
Hi, we have a question saying, we have a Swisslog tube system. Are you the same company or have you gotten out of that business?
That's a great question. Swisslog is very well known for our tubes, our pneumatic tube systems. I believe we have 80% of the market share of tubes. So it's very probable that you do have our tube station within your hospital already, which just tells you that you're already working with Swisslog. So the next step would really be to work with us with your pharmacy automation as well. So yes, your tube system, if it says Swisslog, that's us. I'm going to get Emmy to actually run a quick poll here for you. We're looking to see what types of pharmacy automation you have worked with. So if you go ahead and launch that poll, and if everyone would take 10 or 15 seconds just to give us a response, then Emmy will total that and we can have a look at what we're seeing or what our audiences entail. You can see some answers coming in. I'll give you about 5 more seconds.
All right, we're good.
All right.
Let me share the poll.
All right, and there's what we're seeing. Wow, so we've got quite a bit of automation experience on the line with us. We've got automated storage and retrieval systems, which could be a Carousel or a BoxPicker, unit dose packagers, high-speed or tabletop. We've got 100% of the people on the call, so pretty much everyone on the call is working or has worked with automated dispensing cabinets to some capacity, and patient-specific robots about 25%. So thank you for that. Now we have a little bit of an idea of what our participants have, and we'll move forward. So defining your future state, as we go through the program today, I ask you to really think specifically about the challenges in your pharmacy today. Where are you now, and what is the ideal future state for your organization? Perhaps you've had, hopefully not, but perhaps you've had to deal with a sentinel event. But specific to how automation can solve some of the workflow and efficiency issues that are really impact patient care. So think about how automation can have that, make that change for you. Some of the challenges that we've seen, and I personally have seen in my 30 years of hospital pharmacy, a lot of these challenges that you're seeing on the screen here, I'm sure most of you can relate to. Inefficient workflow, excessive drug inventory, missing medications, I know that always seems to be a hot spot, and picking errors. So automation is actually really can help to improve some of these. And at the end, I'm going to show you some results and statistics of what our clients see post-implementation of the automation. So in addition to medication errors, pharmacy are facing a lot of other challenges, and I'm sure you're aware of that. So the rising drug costs are certainly there, but you're not seeing an increase in budget. The need to collaborate with clinical staff, they're looking for that. They're looking for your pharmacy team to be collaborating one-on-one with them, but there's no one is offering you more staffing, that's for sure. Managing your staff turnover and the need to create staff satisfaction to gain retention. How do you pull all of these things together, while you're trying to find that perfect intersection between cost and quality? What if there were opportunities to address your specific challenges? What if you could actually act on that list of pharmacy initiatives that I know you all have? So perhaps it's MedRec, that's proven that it improves patient outcomes, or IV to PO conversions. That's a costly one not to be managing. Discharge counseling. What if you could actually create such efficiencies within your own distribution model that your staff has time to focus on that specific list? Well, pharmacy automation solutions can help you. So they're going to create operational efficiencies within your pharmacy, eliminating those redundant or unnecessary steps and giving back time to your staff, reducing your costs, in particular by better managing your inventory, and enabling you to increase your yearly turns, and of course, increasing your patient safety, which is always at the top of our minds. Automation can work with absolutely any distribution model, and we, Swisslog, are agnostic to all of them. So we can support you whether you're centralized in a patient care or patient-specific model, or a decentralized or point of care, or a hybrid. If you're still not sure, and perhaps you're deciding, or you're building a new pharmacy, or you're looking to change your distribution models and you're not sure, we work closely with you to evaluate your current environment and what you're going to look like in the future. And we can also link you up with many clients who have actually already been down that road that you're taking right now. So they've got that experience. They know the pros and cons to both sides, and we can actually hook you up to speak with those people directly. I'm going to give you another chance here to give us a little bit of feedback if you could. Emmy's going to launch a poll here, and we're asking the question, so what medication distribution model is your pharmacy currently using? So are you decentralized? Are you patient-specific? So if you'd give me another 10 or 15 seconds of your time, and please respond to that poll, and then Emmy will tell you and get us right back. So Emmy, you have a response, and there we go. So right now, we look like we've got decentralized is 25% and a hybrid situation, which is usually a combination of patient-specific doses as well as cabinet, or in some cases, word stock is still on the unit. So thank you so much for that feedback. Now we're going to move forward, and I'm going to actually talk to you about what it looks like. So from an interface perspective, this diagram right here is showing you what happens in an event of an ADC replenishment or point of care. So in this particular case, the messages will come into the pharmacy inventory management software. So that software is going to be managing globally all of your inventory. So even if those medications are not housed within the automation, we have the ability to also manage remote locations, such as your refrigerators, your rolling shelves, or overstock areas. So what will happen is those messages will come into our system. The system will then decide where those medications are being stored and split those messages accordingly. The operators will pull those medications, dispense them all through the technology, utilizing the barcode technology, and send them off and dispense ready to be sent to the nursing unit. In this diagram, you're seeing more of a cart fill or a centralized model, which could also be very well used here with a hybrid. So messages would come in, if they're patient specific, again, into our pharmacy inventory management software. They would separate those orders. So also imagine in this diagram, there's a section for refrigerator or rolling shelves. Those inventory messages would come across, go to whichever automation you have, dispense them. It brings them out as you can see. It will give them to you in a unit dose format, ready to be administered to the patient, ready to be sent to the nursing unit and directly to the patient. More and more what we're seeing is consolidated services. So more and more facilities are now considering that cost savings and efficiency gains of consolidating their operations into an automated central fill pharmacy that's going to serve multiple locations. So you can see here, whether it's one hospital, whether it's two, in this case we're showing a diagram of 6, our system has the ability to manage multiple facilities. It has the ability to manage even multiple locations within one site. So if you happen to have a satellite pharmacy, perhaps you have an oncology clinic or an oncology center and you have a satellite pharmacy, we have the ability to manage all of those inventories from one central location. And this is something that we're seeing more and more of in the pharmacy industry right now. I want to talk a little bit now about the actual pharmacy storage and retrieval system. Early automated pharmacy storage systems were definitely a technology-based breakthrough and a really vast improvement from the manual system. And today I'm actually going to focus on the BoxPicker system. So as you saw in some of my previous slides, Swisslog has multiple different automations that are all depending on your organization's needs. But in today's webinar, we're definitely going to focus on the BoxPicker and some of the features and benefits that it's going to bring to your pharmacy. So as you can see here, the BoxPicker is fully enclosed. There are no access points to the medications without using the technology. So you actually have to put everything in and out of the BoxPicker is barcode scanned. There are no workarounds. This control really provides you accurate inventory tracking and actually ensuring that every single medication that you pull out of the BoxPicker is the right medication. Our BoxPicker has the ability to expand, so the system is actually going to be built specific to your requirements. We assess your space, we assess the vision, what your capacity needs are right now, as well as what they're going to look like in the future. And we're able to meet your needs. We often will hear some clients will tell us that we're in the basement, I don't have the ceiling height. Well, we actually have a model. This particular picture you're looking at is in a pharmacy in the basement. So we have a low ceiling height model. And something that's unique to the BoxPicker as well is the weight distribution. So we currently have a client that's on the 18th floor. They're using their BoxPicker in their IV room. They're on the 18th floor of a hospital, and no floor reinforcements were required. So we're able to accommodate whatever the needs are from your organization. The BoxPicker can grow with you. So each module, if in fact your organization does grow, or you decide you take on another hospital or a clinic that you're going to service and you need more space, the BoxPicker can grow with you. And I also want to point out that we have the ability to have both a fully refrigerated BoxPicker. You could have a dual temp, which would allow you to have room temp medications as well as refrigerated medications in the same BoxPicker, or a fully ambient. So again, depending on your needs, we have the ability to meet them. To highlight some of the advantages of BoxPicker, the throughput. The BoxPicker increases the hourly throughput. So it's really allowing the pharmacy technicians to pick medications faster than they possibly could from a manual environment and as well in Carousel environments. The BoxPicker is really safe. It increases your safety at the dispense by limiting those medication access points. So it's single bin access, decreasing the opportunities for picking errors. You're actually only receiving one bin at a time, and you can only pull the medication when it's brought to the operator station. It's a required scan in and out of medication. There's no workaround. There's not a possibility to put a barcode on the box that's brought to you and scan that. You actually have to scan the product, and that's the way the system is designed. The unique user ID, every operator will have a unique login, and that's going to help with traceability and really understanding what's going on within the BoxPicker. And a lot of times it's a learning tool, not necessarily something that's punitive, but you are able to manage and track every single movement that goes on within the BoxPicker. It has the ability to track lot number and expiry date. We all know right now that's a hot topic, so that the system can actually track all of that information for you. Multitasking, multiple workstations. You can see in this picture right here, there are actually 2 people working at the BoxPicker at the same time. So that's improving your workflow. One person can be doing a cabinet replenishment or a cart fill, and the other person could be restocking the BoxPicker, for example. The inventory control, BoxPicker really promotes that just-in-time inventory management that you're looking for. So we're going to help you establish mins and max quantities. You're going to actually look at your usage information, and it's virtually going to eliminate that want list. You know, the one that everyone forgets to write on? We can virtually eliminate that, and as the product depletes past its minimum level, it will automatically create an order for reordering. So there's no more having to manually write or remembering to write something down. It's incredibly efficient, facilitating the picking of multiple priorities with little to no disruption. So by that, I would like to point out, if I'm in the middle of a cabinet replenishment, and I will demonstrate to you what that looks like, but if I have a first dose or stat order that comes across, often I hear from clients what happens if I'm in the middle of dispensing to 10 cabinets and I have a first dose or a stat come across. The system is actually designed to manage by priority. So that order would take priority over a cabinet dispense, for example. It would halt the cabinet dispense. It would allow the system to bring the first dose or stat. The operator would dispense it, and once they dispense it, would actually return them right to where they left off, and it would have there'd be no disruption. It's going to really optimize your staffing and enabling the staff to spend a lot less time picking and giving them more time for patient-centric activities. So the automation is really going to allow your staff to do what they're trained to do and let the automation do what it's designed to do. And that in itself is going to bring so much satisfaction to your team. And that's something that we do here quite often, that now they can focus on patient-centric activities and let the automation do what it does best. Incredibly user-friendly operation. It's designed to be able to be accessed and easily utilized by every person in your pharmacy. It features intuitive touch screen, a user interface, and hands-free scanner. The reliability, the ambient BoxPicker, we say easily exceeds 99% uptime. And in the rare event of unscheduled downtime, Swisslog offers a comprehensive service and support agreement, and we offer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week phone support, as well as on-site support when required. In the rare event of downtime, the BoxPicker is very unique in how you can access the system, and I will demonstrate that to you in a minute, because I know during implementation, I was on the implementation team for a while, and that was one of the very big concerns that most pharmacy people have, is that when I need my medications for a patient, I need them, and if it's all locked in this place that you're telling me I can't access, how do I get them? And so we're very unique and have a very good way to do that, and I will show you that in just a few minutes. BoxPicker is ideal in the event that you have the opportunity to either build a new space, or perhaps there's a way that we could build it so that we can give you an access point into the ante room. So by doing this, we're going to be able to support USP 797. All of your cardboard, excess particulate, everything will actually be housed within the BoxPicker, and the only access point, as you can see in this diagram, would be the operator station. It limits the need to go in and out, so you don't have to go in and out and garb and ungarb. You don't have to worry if there's not someone on the other side of the ante room that you can pick up the phone if you need something from the other side, because everything that they would need, they can load into the BoxPicker, and then they can access it right at that point. So here's that point I was talking to you about, the rare event of a downtime. You can see this picture here. It's actually demonstrating to you what the inside of a BoxPicker looks like. That looks like a ladder. It actually is a ladder, so that in the event that you need to reach something on one of the higher shelves, that you can move that, position it to where you would need to get that drug. Bins are located on an XY coordinate, and at any given time, the system always knows exactly where that medication is and what the coordinate is. So you could easily go inside and pull those medications as required. So the downtime is very, very easily managed within the system.
Okay. And Cindy, we have a question that came in. In the event of downtime, my staff does have to retrieve medications manually. How does the system then reconcile its quantities?
The question was how, in the event of downtime, if someone has to pull those medications, how does it reconcile those quantities? The system actually is very easy to what you would have to do in that case would be do an inventory. So you would tell the system exactly what you took out of the BoxPicker, and it will update those inventories for you. So you can do an inventory request, and I will be demonstrating that to you in just a few slides. So great question. We talked through most of these. I'm going to high level point them out to you. So some of the benefits for sure of the BoxPicker system really has access to only one requested bin, so the right bin, the right med. The picking speed, it's always picking ahead of the user. So you saw in most of those pictures, there's 4 drawers at that operator station. So as the operator, I'll be working on one drawer, but the robot has gone ahead and pulled drawers well in advance. So it's always got a drawer or 2 ahead of the operator. So it's never waiting for something to rotate. It's always well ahead. Modular in design, as we talked about, we have the ability to build this unique to what your facility needs. And then in the event that you grow or something changes, we can add on. So there's no need to buy new equipment. The goods-to-person delivery, it's ideal. Your staff literally will stand in one spot, and everything they need can be brought right to them. So it's one-stop shopping. The anti-room access we talked about, it's a great feature, and the clients who have it just love how much of an ease that brings to their IV room. And the dual temp, as we talked about, which is dual temp or fully refrigerated. So how does the BoxPicker work? I'm going to talk to you some details about how we set the BoxPicker up and how it's different from other automations. In particular, other automations, you spend a lot of time assigning locations to a specific drug. And then when that moves, you have to reassign or you have to move things around. In the BoxPicker, you'll never assign a location to a drug. And the system is constantly optimizing itself, meaning that it's going to find a location within itself to store the medications that you're loading. So how do we do that? You're going to create tech data, or what we call parameter entry for each drug. And when we do that, we're taking into consideration several things. So we're going to look at your usage data. How much do you want to keep on hand? We're going to look at the size of the product, how much space it requires, and then we're going to create tech data associated to that particular drug. So let's say, for example, one drug is on back order. The BoxPicker is never going to hold an empty spot waiting for that product. It's going to constantly utilize the space, but when you go to load that product in at a later time, it will find a spot that will meet the needs of the tech data that's surrounded by that. So the system you never have to have your staff readjusting shelves or reassigning locations because now you're keeping a larger quantity than you used to or perhaps a lesser quantity than you used to. The system is constantly going to be optimizing its space.
And Cindy, we have 2 questions that came in. The first is, how many sections can the box be separated into?
So the BoxPicker in that example I just showed you, I'm going to attempt to go backwards here. This one is showing you 4 segments. The actual box can be separated into 6. Now, obviously, that's not going to be for a lot of your medications, but let's say you have an eye drop or something that you keep a very small quantity of. You can separate. There's no use wasting space. So you can separate the bin into a maximum of 6. And there are often times when you will require more than one bin for a particular product. So let's say you keep a large quantity of enoxaparin syringes, for example. You can use more than one syringe or more than one box, I apologize, that whatever is required. And we take all of those into consideration when we're doing a sizing assessment for you.
All right, and the second question is, the boxes look small. How does the system manage larger items such as Citro bag bottles, premixed IV bags?
So we have what we call high capacity drawers or special bays, and I will show you when we get, hopefully I have another picture that I can demonstrate that to you, but those are high capacity drawers that sit on the bottom of the BoxPicker, and that's exactly what they are designed for. So they're designed to hold larger items or things that you keep a tremendous quantity of and you perhaps don't want to take up 10 or 12 boxes of the smaller boxes. You could store heparin, for example, in one of those high capacity drawers, and they're ideal for premixed IV bags, etc. So hopefully that answers that question. I'm going to go through step by step for you what it looks like, what the system does. So when you're actually loading a product into the BoxPicker, what you can see here is that the operator is, let's say, received a wholesale order or received a return product from the floor. They're going to go ahead, they're going to log in, they're going to scan that product. The crane and the robot will then bring the box to the operator station. You can see there's the 4 drawers. It will deliver that to the drawer. It will unlock the drawer. And then the operator, before they can actually load it and complete that transaction, the operator has to scan that medication to ensure that they're loading the correct product into the correct drawer. The same thing happens now, but reverse when we're dispensing. So as we're dispensing a product, the technician will log in. They're going to select the order if it happens to be an order that's come through the interface. If it's a manual dispense, I'm going to demonstrate to you what that looks like. But they log in, they create the order that they're looking for. The BoxPicker goes and pulls that medication, brings it to the operator station, and unlocks the drawer. Again, the technician has to scan that product barcode for verification, or it won't allow them to go any further. The inventory is updated, and you can see actually this drawer, this picture here does show you a high-capacity drawer that's been segmented up to 3, and you can see Citromag bottles right in there. And so you can separate it up to 3, or it could facilitate just 1 high-capacity drawer. So while your inventory is being updated and this technician is confirming the scan, the crane has already gone ahead and retrieved the next several boxes. So it's ahead of the operator, and they're never waiting for anything else to happen. That's how the BoxPicker works. So I want to demonstrate the ease of the system to you and what the operator is seeing. So this is what all of you would see if you were to step up to the operator station right now. And I can assure you that pretty much every single one of you would be able to easily determine how to pull a medication out of this based just on the screen. What we call here our quick access buttons. It's all touch screen. So I'm going to just briefly go over the load button. I think everyone would assume that's how you load the product in. Unload would be what we consider dispensing in this case. So if you were doing a manual dispense, you would hit that unload button, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you. Returns is going to allow you to also track returns. So quite often it's important to understand what is being returned versus what is being loaded into the system from a wholesale order. So that way you're better able to know what's going on with your patients. Why are they returning the medications? Why are they not receiving them? So you can actually look into investigating. Perhaps there was a stop order that no one received in pharmacy. We continue to dispense it. But if we put things back in the BoxPicker under the return feature, then we have the ability to track that information. A cabinet refill, that's where you would find your messages, your batch messages that have come in for your cabinet replenishment. Patient prescription in this case would be first dose or stats, or your cart fill would show up under there. So to demonstrate what that looks like for you, in this case, I'm doing what we would call an unload, and I showed you on the last screen there's an unload button, the second from the top on the left. I click the unload and I would begin to type in the medication that I'm looking for, and you can see that a list comes up. So the more I type, the more defined that list becomes. So where did that list come from? That would actually be your formulary. So during the implementation process, we would ask for your formulary, and we're going to upload that information. And it's going to be as detailed as you create it to be. There'll be tall man lettering, we'll reflect that, and any information that you have as part of your formulary will be included in what we upload. So as you start to type, you can either type to get your product. If you happen to have a product in hand, you could scan it. So there's several ways to actually access the medication you're looking for. So before we get into the actual dispense screen, I just want to show you something now, what it looks like on the dispense if you're doing something that's come through the interface message. So in this case, have an example of a cabinet replenishment. So there's one cabinet here. There could be several depending on your cabinets, depending on how you set it up. Multiple cabinet orders can be waiting here for you. So you click on that, you see your interface messages, and a patient-specific or a cart fill would show up very similar. So what's also great is that you get to choose how you want to pull your batched orders. For example, you can do it by each cabinet. So if you have a technician who prefers to do one cabinet at a time, or you can do it by grouping. So I potentially could be doing 5 cabinet replenishments from, let's say, one floor. At the 5th floor, I'm doing it at one operator station, and my colleague could do the 3rd floor cabinets at another operator station. So I could do it that way, or I could do it all at once and just pull all of the cabinets at the same time. So there's multiple ways, and it's going to be specific to what you're looking for.
So we have another question that came in.
Sure.
Can load be integrated to electronic purchase order / receiving information?
Yes, great question. So we can interface with your wholesaler, and the loading when we're doing receiving, we would be able to send a message directly to the box picker that would also identify to you what we've received, and it would create a load list for you. I'm hoping that answered that question. So we were talking about multiple operator stations, so we can do multiple things at the same time. If a first dose or stat, as mentioned earlier, came in during the middle of this, I would easily, you can see in the left-hand side, patient prescription button there. It would be flashing that there was a first dose or a stat. That would be able to, I could click on that as the operator. It would halt the screen that I'm on. It would bring me the information for the first dose or stat. Go ahead and pull that medication, and it would bring me back as the operator directly at where I left off. So I wouldn't, there'd be nothing, no, it wouldn't skip a beat. It would just bring me back to right where I left off. And the priorities in the system is you build them as an organization, and you decide what's high priority for you. So a high priority for your organization may be slightly different than it is for someone else. So once we've actually gone ahead and told the system, yep, these are the orders I want you to pull for me, this is what you're going to see. So it's a goods-to-person system. Once the box picker has retrieved that correct box with the required medication, it's going to deliver that box to the operator station. It's going to unlock the drawer, and it's going to present this screen to the operator. A couple things I want you to notice here. So you notice there's a highlight. So this is actually just offering you a visual cue of what that box looks like. So it's actually showing the operator that they're going to be pulling the medication of Tylenol 325, as you can see here. They're going to be pulling that from that section of the bin. The product barcode you can see here is empty. So what that's telling the operator is it needs more information here in order to dispense it. And you'll also see that the confirm button is not set up here, so that no one can actually confirm this product until they've scanned the product. The box picker will not provide or produce a dispense label for you until you have actually verified that you've pulled the right product. So this is a feature that was designed specifically for pharmacies, that I don't want to give you a label until I know for sure that you've pulled the right product. So that's the way the box picker works. You get your label after confirmation. During this, the operator has several options, and I really want to point this out as well, because everything that needs to be done from a technical perspective and managing your inventory can be done right in front of the operator station, literally in seconds, in the midst of what they're working on. So they don't need to write notes and post-it notes and remember I have to go in and I have to adjust this inventory, I have to change this quantity. Everything that they need to do, they can do right here at this operator station. So in the event that they need to change that quantity, so I can give you an example that perhaps a batch order comes across from your cabinet where it says to pull 8 of a particular product, but it comes in a sleeve of 10. Most often, your technicians are going to go ahead and pull that 10, knowing that it'll fit into the cabinet. So they can easily adjust that quantity right on hand, right in front of them when they're working on it. They can change it up or down, and the actual inventory will be adjusted within the box picker. They can do an inventory request, and this goes back to the question that we had about what happens if I have to pull something manually in that rare event of downtime. So you can do an inventory request right on demand. It will change the screen. It will flip the screen to an inventory screen. It will allow you to adjust the inventory, and it will bring it back to the screen that you were working on. And literally, it takes anywhere from 6 to 10 seconds to adjust your inventory. So that's really, really helping you with user compliance. Once your staff realizes how easy it is, they don't need to remember things. They can make a change in seconds. They're going to go ahead and do that, and they're going to really help to maintain those inventories so that they're accurate. You can also end the operation. Here you see the end operation button. So for example, you get a call down from the pharmacist that they no longer need a particular order, they can go ahead and end the operation. But what I want to point out to you is that every single activity that's going on in the box picker is being tracked. So whether they're changing the inventory, they're dispensing, they're adjusting inventory quantities, or they're ending an operation, all of that information is tracked and you can see it. Uh-oh, what happened here? This is an example for you of what you would see in the event that someone has scanned the wrong medication. So let's say someone comes up to your technician, she needs to take a phone call, but for some reason she's disrupted, she comes back. She pulls the medication from not the highlighted section, not paying close attention, and scans that medication. The system literally will not let her go any further. They will force him or her to actually acknowledge the fact that they've pulled the wrong medication, and they would have to scan the correct medication in order to move forward. And that's what I'm going to show you on this screen. So once they've scanned the right product code, you can see this barcode now is filled in, and now the confirm button is activated. So they now have the ability to confirm. And what happens once they've confirmed the right product? They're going to get their label. So you've confirmed the product, your inventory's been updated in your BoxPicker, you have your label, you affix it to the product, and that product is now ready to be sent to the patient care area or to the nurse or wherever it happens to be going. Note the alarm messages on the bottom. So this is what I like to say is the system's actually talking to you. So as things are going on within the BoxPicker, it's constantly generating messages. If for some reason it needs to let you know something, it could be that it's the operator needs to get involved and do something. It's showing you alarms if there's something that needs to be fixed. Most items I want to point out as well, most problems that go on within the BoxPicker can be managed and fixed within your staff. So the part of the implementation is to training 3 to 4 super users, and most problems that occur within the BoxPicker are very similar to those that you would see problems to a nursing cabinet, where someone might be a little too rough with the system, or they may be over jamming drawers, or things that are user related, and those typically go away in the first couple of months once people have been educated on how the system works and the few things that could go wrong. But most problems can actually be fixed directly on site. And in the event that they can, as I mentioned earlier, we have a very comprehensive service and support agreement where we have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week phone support. A lot of the problems can actually be fixed over the phone. And Swisslog we have our own service team, so we do not outsource it to a third party. They're very well trained in our automations, and they're going to be site-specific to some degree to your site as part of your implementation. So we're just about at the end of time here. I want to talk a little bit about some of our sites. We've got several sites, obviously, across the U.S. as well as Canada. So I've got some examples here of different organizations that have implemented our automations in different distribution models. In this particular case, it's Strong Memorial Hospital. They're a fairly large facility that have actually grown. I believe when we implemented, they were around 662 beds, and now they're in excess of 800. They have our pill pick system, a fully refrigerated and non-refrigerated ambient box picker. They realize, as you can see, an overall savings. They reduce their inventory waste, and they boast about the fact that they have had 0 medication dispensing errors since they implemented. And they have a running tally in somewhere in the millions that's constantly changing, so I don't include it in my slides, but they're quite happy. BlueWater Health in Sarnia, that is one of our Canadian sites, and I know we have a Canadian audience on the line. So as I said, we have several Canadian sites and growing, I can say. But this was one particular site in Sarnia. They're using our system in a hybrid situation. And after they went live with the system, they were nominated for a Bridging Excellence Award as a result of the positive impact they had on patient care. So although we say we focus on pharmacy and we focus most of our development in the actual pharmacy, we know that we're impacting patient care at the end, and that's our goal. Flagstaff Memorial, that's a hospital in Arizona. They actually deinstalled a carousel, an end-of-life carousel, and they decided to move forward with the BoxPicker. They saw a tremendously lowered patient-specific first dose picking time. You can see 4 to 5 times. Their carousel dispense, their cabinet dispense was much faster. They improved their drug patient turnaround times. They eliminated ADC stockouts, and most importantly, they were able to reallocate their staff. So they were implementing a full IV ad program. They didn't have the staffing. They weren't given an additional budget for that. But the time savings they saved on the other side of the pharmacy with the dispensing, they were able to pick up and then implement a full IV ad, and they also support another hospital site with their IV room. So again, huge efficiencies. St. Barnabas Hospital, this is the site that I wanted to put in here because it actually did install, in this case, these are carousels. So Swisslog, if you have not heard, did recently acquire Talus, and so this particular site is very well taken care of with our carousels and our auto farm. Why work with Swisslog? We have a very diverse portfolio. For the person who did mention the pneumatic tube system, you can see that it's here. We're constantly working on development and how we can get all of our automations to be integrated and work together. So we're looking at the future. How is the software going to help us to move to have these things work together? This is what some of the clients will tell you. Why Swisslog Healthcare automation? These are some of the results that you would see. This is what we did. Our technology delivers greater efficiency. Our technology is safer. It's more innovative. And this is the slide I mentioned to you in the very beginning. So we talked about all of the things that people were seeing pre-implementation and some of the problems and challenges they were experiencing within their pharmacy. You can see on this slide, these are this is some of the data that we've captured after implementing our pharmacy automation. So you can see there's some very, very significant numbers and improvement in what they were seeing prior to the implementation of the automation. I think we've been answering questions all the way along. I'm just going to do a quick check here. If Amy, do we have any questions that are outstanding? Have we managed?
We don't have any outstanding questions.
Okay. So I would ask if you have any questions. We've just got, I think, 2 more slides to wrap up. Please send me your questions and we'll try to answer them. But if not, the next steps will be Young Shan Lee will be reaching out to you, and she will be providing for you this webinar in case you to share this with anyone else on your team, as well as there'll be some YouTube information as to where you can see the BoxPicker live and in action. And we hope that today you found this presentation useful, and we hope to hear from you. And if you'd like some further information, please feel free to reach out to any one of us. We'd be happy to take care of you. Thank you so much for your time today.